have a baseball operator coming in here. This is near and dear and close to my heart because I come from the sports world. I do. I was not a baseball player, but I really cut my teeth in a significant way when I was the entire marketing team at Bruce Bolt. So all of these guys who are operating in e-com and doing things in youth sports, they are near and dear to me. I'm talking about the one and only Robbie Little, founder of Slide MVP. Robbie, get in here. Get inside this show. There he is.
Chris, Colin, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Robbie, man, we are glad to have you. I discovered you on Twitter some weeks and months ago, and I saw this sliding mat that actually lets kids practice sliding, which is it's like the worst experience ever without this thing because, you know, you don't do it right, you hurt yourself, and then little Johnny or little Susie's crying. You know, mom and dad's not happy, coach is wishing that they weren't crying. You know, so it's like, how do you actually enable this thing to happen? Brother, I would love it if you would just, for people who don't know, man, give everybody a little background on you, how you got involved in the sports world, and how the Slide MVP came to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So thanks for the intro. Thanks for having me on. So for 13 years, I was actually in the summer camp space. We were like an ed tech company. We taught kids how to code, make video games. So I've been in a world where I've worked with kids. I was an executive for them. We actually exited for $200 million. So
crazy, bro. Just a little, just a few dollars there.
Yeah, just a little bit. So that was post-COVID, but nonetheless, I got to be a part of the due diligence process, sit in a lot of board meetings, VCs, really understood what folks were looking for. Your unit economics, what are your moats and so forth. Went to work for a startup CPG for 6 months, and they're high velocity hockey stick, but it just didn't work out where equity and certain things just didn't come through. So I actually took sabbatical. And while I was on sabbatical, I happened to be coaching my son's youth team. He was 6 at the time. And the question was asked, how do you slide? I was like, okay, looked it up, saw people use cardboard, slip and slides, but there was nothing. So I went to Costco, got me some pallet dividers, taped them up, looked up what kind of steps you need to teach these kids and did it. And after 15 minutes, what I saw was A, they learned. 2, they got better, and 3, they didn't want to stop. So I'm like, well, I'm on sabbatical. I don't have a job right now. Let me go down the rabbit hole. So for a month, I went through probably 30 different pieces of material and found it.
Wow.
And what I was looking for was, it's a tool not only for kids, but for coaches. Because no one's really ever thinking about the coach. The coach is the one who has to bring the sporting goods store to and from the field. So I needed something lightweight and that could roll. So that's kind of how it was born. And that's how this was all came to be.
Man, that is, it's so smart because what I will say is absolutely the coach is neglected. He's the one schlepping everything back and forth from the car and the sporting goods store, trying to help little Johnny and little Susie have a good experience. Man, I find this so fascinating. It seems to me like this should have already existed in the world, but you were relegated to taping cardboard boxes together and try and make this thing happen. Why didn't this exist before, Robbie?
It's funny. I think I know where people stumbled along the way. So the next place after cardboard, you would go to corrugated plastic. We tried it, and that's what you would see, like your yard signs, right? Vote for this president or whatever. That cracked real easily. I thought that was it, and it didn't work. So I was like, and I could see where people are like, forget this. This is not worth it. There's also a robust patent that exists out there on another mat, but it's like a yoga mat, and it's pretty big. It's padded. Mine doesn't infringe on that. I ran the prior art search, kind of made sure if I'm going to do this, I need to make sure I'm not going to run into some unexpected roadblocks that something exists. So that could have tripped people up. And truthfully, I just don't think finding this material, it was luck. So, and just a very fortunate partner a lucky partner I have on the other side, on the manufacturing side. So yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. You talk about manufacturing and your manufacturing partner, you are proudly manufactured in the United States, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct.
That's pretty wild to take that on. I mean, you obviously know how that affects margins, and do you think that you're going to stay always made in the US, or are you going to try to kind of go around and basically expand and have to get a bigger manufacturing partner as this thing scales up?
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic question. So, I dating back to the previous, like going through that experience of selling the company, the unit economics to me was almost like the most important thing from building.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
when I originally started, the contribution margin was about 58%. So I was like, okay, I have some, it's not bad. I've now in the low 70s and that's before ad spend, right? So
Oh.
I was able to really work incredibly hard right from the get-go. You're always negotiating. You're always keeping your costs in mind, right? Because when your margins are thin, it makes life very difficult and leaves a little room for error. And I knew how important margin was because I'm bootstrapped. I'm doing this all on my own. It's me and my wife. I have one helping me with the performance marketing side since last July. But yeah, it's really just us and some help in our warehouse. We're in a warehouse now, so we've moved out of the garage and now we're in a warehouse.
Love it.
Let's go.
Robbie,
That's
tell
amazing.
me, okay, finding another 20-ish% of margin there is quite significant. So, I mean, how did you do that, man? I mean, is it literally just conversations with your manufacturer? Is it looking at how can we recreate this thing? How did you do that? I think we'd all like to find another 20% on our product.
No, absolutely. So I knew when I started, right? Like I'm ordering, let's call it 500 per batch, and your price is locked in, and you're not doing big volume in their world. Where the margins really changed for me was we increased our volume with the manufacturer, so it lowered the raw materials for the sheet. But then the printing is actually the most expensive. So
really,
we tried to find, the printing is very difficult with this material. Like we could get pretty scientific. Like I'm too much of a, too much science about this stuff, but the print adhesion is really a complicated thing with this particular piece of material. But we had one, and it turns out they were definitely taking advantage of me. What I found out, because I actually found someone else who could do this, and we were testing them in the background. I was bringing these mats to my clinics. So I run free clinics for organizations to see, would they uphold? Can I get kids across? Is there going to be printed heat? Is the print going to peel off? And after we did enough tests, I was like, yep, we're going to switch. So I gave the original person a chance. I was like, hey, just let's go. And he couldn't. And then when I walked, he came down $8 per mat. And I was like, listen, I'm about principle and like building long-term relationships, and to know you had $8 to drop per mat. And now you're doing it at the last minute. I'm like, I'm good. So, so we found a great partner. And that's it. Relationships go a long way. So I know everyone's trying to make a buck and build their businesses, but when you establish really good relationships and do good by each other and, stand by your word, it goes a long way.
I love that. I think so many brand owners basically get, pigeonholed, or they kind of they romanticize their manufacturer, and they're like, oh, we could never leave them. It's like, it is the way forward. We have to. I love the fact that you are always testing on it. You're kind of calling them, and you're running these small tests in the background to make sure that, like, hey, the priority is the business moving forward. This is what it is at the end of the day. Are you focusing on some product seeding for this? Because I see this in so many different angles for product seeding with, just off the gate, Savannah Bananas. This would be the coolest thing in the world.
And they're doing camps. Yeah, they're doing camps.
They are.
Yeah, it'll be wild what you hear. So we actually have it with one of the banana teams. The coconuts, they approached me early on, and I have a larger size I don't sell. But last year, 2 MLB teams found me a month into launching this, and they reached out, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, and they're like, we want to try it out, and they tried it out, and I prepped them like I made this for like little league, like this was not made for adults, and they're like, if you go longer and wider, we'll use it. So while I was selling last year, I was prototyping, sizing, and testing them. We now have 17 major league teams using them all across their minor league system. Yeah, so it's it's weird to think like I'm texting with MLB, first base coaches. It's just like, it's wild. Like, it's just not something I would have imagined. So, you have that happening. We got the bananas, the coconuts, when they intro themselves, they slide across 2 big mats we designed, all in their customization, because we can do that. I just don't offer it to the public yet because
That's
I just
great.
got to get mats out. We're with professional cricket teams now. So this is where this is getting crazy. So cricket's 5 times the size of baseball and softball. And now it's being used over in the UK and Australia. I've had people reach out. They do a lot of diving. They do a lot of backhanded pop-up and throw type movements. So they're using it. Fielding's becoming more and more important to the training and having its moment in cricket. So like the timing couldn't be better. And then this summer I'm going after football. So quarterbacks don't know how to slide.
That's true. That's true. Let's go, Robbie.
They don't. I was like, you can name all the pro quarterbacks. Drake May. I love all these guys.
Yeah.
Like, but Jackson Dart doesn't slide. He just gets smashed going into the sidelines, right? Tua has had his issues. Justin Herbert. Like, you go down the line. So again, quarterback, most important position, very niche market, but nonetheless it translates. We're testing soccer. Then you have like weird things like, not weird, but like tactical stuff. So like paintball and others. Anyone that needs to use a slide dive and whatnot, this is a really cool and easy tool to just throw in your trunk. It's lightweight. And then when you're done, you roll it back up and you're good to go.
Robbie. I totally see this now that we're talking to him. I totally think back to Michael Brandt from Ketone, where you could pitch this to special forces, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
I think like Department of Defense would eat this up in 5 seconds, and you would get all the operators doing it.
100%. Now that we make the larger mats, which again go to our, the biggest teams in the world, you have enough surface area to practice this across, and yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wow.
Man, this is mind-blowing, Robbie. Yeah. I mean, as you're talking, like your TAM is just exploding in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exploding.
Yeah. And it's, what's fun is like, from day one, like you talk about visualization and seeing it, I could see it. Not maybe this quickly. I never imagined this quickly. Like, this is nuts. Like, truthfully, that's a whole nother story, but I knew there was a market for this, and I knew there was no other brand, there was no other product. So when you're Blue Ocean, this is the name. You need to make sure your name is in front of everybody, and everything you do is slide MVP, because you have a chance to create that monopoly on this. Again, it's a very niche, but we've created the category of sliding and diving, and we are so far ahead. It's all about offense. It's just keep going, and that's why the unit economics were so important, right? You have to come back to that, so that when you have the ability to just double down on your inventory or double down on marketing endeavors and just keep pushing it, you just go. Like, you can't stop the momentum. You just got to keep riding it. And that is a huge competitive advantage for us, even though we don't have competitors at the moment. But
man, there's a number of things that stand out as you are talking. Number one, the category creation. Smart. I mean, big bet, risky bet, scary bet. I mean, we had Michael Brandt, the founder of Ketone IQ, on yesterday, and he was talking about the same thing. He's hitting it. He's like, I want to create the category, own the entire thing. I make the rules because I created the category. And man, you are doing this with sliding mats. I mean, slide MVP, brother. I never would have imagined that the world of cricket would want a slide mat. But now that it's opening up in front of you, I mean, this is it's truly a global opportunity. I mean, truly. I mean, very truly.
Absolutely. And that's what's exciting. So, I didn't have Amazon on the radar, and now we're going to get that up and running next month. And it's just like, and that's going to probably open up some channels to get into international a little bit quicker than just doing it myself through D2C.
Right.
So it's just fun. I mean, it's crazy. Like there's so many numbers. Like last year, I mean, the craziest part is, we did, I'll just say like 2.2 million in
Awesome.
our first year, and the first 3 quarters of the year, we were 72% of those days were out of stock. So we did,
Really?
right, it's insane. We would do a drop and we'd be sold out in days. My first
Bro.
600,000 in sales was all organic. We had no paid. I was posting every day on Instagram. Every day was a strategy of like consistency, of just getting a little bit better with your reels and hooks and what you're putting out there. And we had a couple hit 1 million, 4 million, 12 million views, and it just
You gotta be kidding me, bro.
yeah, it's insane, right? And I'm your like e-com. I'm the least e-com of anybody out here. Like I'm learning as we go. I use podcasts like yourself and the community on X to really help me know what to look for and what I should be doing. So yeah.
I mean, Chris, just as from like a paid media perspective, when you hear that, you're like, hey, can I please just put gasoline on your fire? Like,
Robbie,
this is crazy, man. You need to get more stock. What are we doing here?
Robbie, man, and it's like as you're talking, this is screaming product market fit. I mean, it's screaming product market fit.
Yeah.
I mean, that does not happen if you don't have product market fit. And man, it's like I think like that's a lot of what we do. Our success, man, it comes down to can you make a better cup of coffee? Do you have something that people actually want? I mean, when you've got organic demand like that, brother, you got heat behind you. I mean, those are tailwinds, Robbie. Brother, they're going to send you to the moon. We're going to Mars with Slide MVP, man.
You kind of know, but you don't. Like, I don't have a barometer. I wasn't in an agency. I wasn't in some VC group where you kind of have an idea of how these companies in the D2C space operate, right? So I kept having to go to ChatGPT. I was like, here are my numbers. Like, where does this rank? Like, how does this like stack up? And it's like, well, you're in the 7% of like all small businesses. And I was like, oh, that's like the 93rd percentile. And I was like, oh, that's great.
Wow.
I was like, what about first year? And they're like, well, you're not even in 1%. It's like, it's rare what's happening. And so it's like, there's times where you appreciate it. And then there's times it's just like, there's just too much to do. And you just keep going and keep going.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
Are you, I mean, you talked about it initially, the fact that you're bootstrapped right now. I mean, with the total TAM that you just talked about, are you thinking about taking on some VC capital? Because I think VCs are going to hear this and basically be salivating over you and salivating and be like, hey, here's a blank check. We need to just go.
Yeah. Like, I think like anything, it's the right partner. Right. Yeah. I think, and honestly, from also a strategic standpoint. So like where could I use that help? What deficiencies do I have that, or blind spots, or just things operating the business that would better help me outside of a check, right? Like checks are great. I mean, I've been approached by, some folks who kind of caught wind of what I was doing. I had Shark Tank reach out. I bet I passed for this year. I just didn't have the time, nor I'm like, I'm not ready to go on. This is actually the first time revealing a lot. So, but yeah, no, it's crazy. It's fun. I think, again, I'm always open to the right opportunity, but truthfully, VCs have, sometimes it's got to align with what we're trying to do here versus just, right. Like, let's get that flip in 3 years and whatnot, which I'm not opposed to, but we got something here, and I just want to see what we can, how much further we can push it.
Well, Robbie, I mean, if my old boss, Guard Mayor at Bruce Bolt, was listening to you right now, he would say, "Don't take $1, Robbie. Don't take $1. Keep everything, and keep cash flowing that thing to infinity." I mean, the more I think about the global opportunity here with Cricut and beyond. And then you start moving into secondary and tertiary sports like football, and then, the tactical thing, the paintball, and then you've got the branding, you've got the whole branding capability with like printing on it, and then how it makes sense organizationally when, large baseball organizations, they got 100 different teams and they all buy at one time. And
Yeah.
there's we're going to Mars. We're going to Mars, bro.
I love it. Yeah, no, it feels good. We just I will tell you the one thing that's on my mind, and I'll be curious to throw it to you guys, and is that with a company growing this fast, like this, I call it every quarter, the company is forcing you to like level up with it. So it's a big challenge for myself, but I've seen myself go through vendors, through contractors we've used, just because they were good at that period of time, but that next level,
it's different.
Are they the right fit? And we're seeing a lot of that. And it's happening instead of being a year or 2 years, it's like you got 3 months. So can you keep going? Can you keep up with it? And that's kind of been what I'm seeing. So
man, I think that's totally the case. I mean, do you think so, Colin? I mean, you have to, as people involved with the company, as talent, partners, et cetera, you have to evolve. If you're going to stay involved, you have to evolve. You have to level up and upskill, or somebody else has to get involved that's been there and done it before. Right. I mean, I think that's the case. You think so, Colin?
Absolutely. I would say with your product as well, what we were talking with the folks at Outer Signal yesterday, this would be a crazy thing you could explore, because I think you already have probably A+ talent purchasing from you that you have no idea about.
Sure.
Just hearing the organic demand, I'm like, you should probably do this, because it's like, I think you already have massive influencers that are purchasing from you. And that's amazing.
Massive.
The Shopify ding in the background. I love that.
You just got
this sends me down rabbit holes, Chris, of just different ways that he could scale this thing up. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of connections to make there on that side. I mean, stuff with what Outer Signal and other people are doing on that side. I mean, it's like, I remember when we were at Bruce Bolt and we had the CMO of EA Sports reach out and was like, "Hey, my son loves baseball. I'd love to come and visit. Also, would you guys like to explore being in a game together?" Or, but we would have never known. We would have never known if he did not reach out, or actually, I think I reached out to him. I think I sent him a cold email, but anyway, it just so happened. But, there's tools like Outer Signal and things like that now that just capture all that data for you. Robbie, man, this is so exciting. And man, we're gonna stay attached to you and follow along, man. If there's any way that we can help on our side, brother, you just let us know. We want to be a help, man. You're going to the moon and beyond.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I really do. Thanks for having me on and reaching out, Chris. I do.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm bullish on youth sports, baby. I'm bullish. Product market fit. Wild. Product market fit. Robbie, we love it, man. And we appreciate you coming on. We look forward to having you back, brother. Thank you, man.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much.